All right, everybody, welcome. I am your host, SwingBadder. That's BADDER. That's you swinging all the way through elementary school, and you're swinging batter. You can swing batter at life. You can be swing batter at work, but wherever you swing, make sure you do it on our website. Check it out. Check out the merchandise. We got some fresh new looks coming out. Pretty excited about it. Here at the podcast for SwingBadder, where we talk about the latest and greatest, what's going on in baseball the last week, what's coming up, and where we think your team's going to be in the future. Because one thing we do know is we know the future. And if you put your bets down and you're betting with us, you're going to win. You're going to win big. I'm your host, Brendan, and welcoming with me is Todd and Dad, wherever they may be. I guess they could be like this or like that or like this. Anyways, Todd, how you been? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Listen, I just want to make sure that everybody hits that subscribe button, smash the like button, follow us. We're on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, at SwingBadder. Find us on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcasts. You know, if we start getting some reviews on Apple, I'd love to read some of the reviews. That would be fun, right?
Fun reviews. Also with us, Dad. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, I just want to remind, I know everybody wants it, but SwingBadder hats. You should, everyone in the neighborhood should have an SB hat for sure. That's what keeps it going.
And your lady friend too, because you know she swings batter just as well. Well, here we are, and I would say the biggest shock to me, and there's a couple big shocks. I'm going to just go divisions really quick.
Sure.
And then I'm going to go to the biggest shock that I read this week for me. The AL East is shockingly good. And the New York Yankees have the best team on the DL I've ever seen. Their DL team is strong. Very, very strong. I'm excited about where the AL East is going to go, but I think it's going to round out. Boston will end up at the bottom like we thought. And the Rays are doing something that again, doesn't make any sense. What are your thoughts on the AL East, Dad?
Well, I find it interesting that there's nobody in the AL East with a losing record.
Right.
Even the last place teams are above 500, which means they've been playing teams in other divisions that aren't very good or whatever, because you couldn't have everybody with a winning record if all they played was each other. Somebody's going to be winning, somebody's going to be losing. But I just found that interesting. It's just Tampa got off to such a ridiculous start. It's opened up a gap, but there's plenty of time to close that. I would say even the Yankees in Boston sitting in last place, there's plenty of time to right that ship for sure.
And listen, each of those teams in the AL East, they all have a positive run differential.
Wow.
I don't think we've ever seen that through the first month of the season, probably because of the way the schedules have played out in previous years. But I've never seen that where every single team in the division. And listen, for Tampa to have a plus 103 run differential as of this recording, that's insane. That's insane.
So here's
all I hear about Tampa is that they're the next Oakland and that they're going to move somewhere because they can't put people in that stadium. If you're in Tampa and you're not going to watch that team, I don't know what more you want.
Shame on you.
Here's a very good future question. Dad and Todd, both of you. The Tampa Bay Rays are a plus 103 and the Yankees are plus 1. They're the worst in that division. At the end of the year, what are we looking at pluses and minuses of those two teams? Who's better? Who's worse? Where are we ending up?
I think obviously the Yankees end up better. The team the Yankees has on the injured list right now would beat most major league teams. So I don't think the Yankees end up with a negative run differential. And I could easily see the Yankees, once these guys come off the injured list, like say in June or July, them having a plus 103 month. So I see the Yankees easily with a run differential that's plus 3 figures. And I could see Tampa Bay dropping down to, ending up the season at a plus 30, plus 25. They're going to have a cold streak. It's coming. And I think it's coming in the month of May. And I think it starts May 2nd against the Pirates.
That's something I wouldn't have bet on, that statement. The Rays are going to start a cold streak against the Pirates.
Yeah.
That's so Dad, where do you have the Yankees versus Tampa in the plus minus department at the end of the year?
I think Tampa is not going to collapse as much as you're thinking. Obviously, they're going to come back to earth. That's a ridiculous record. The Yankees are too good when they get healthy to stay at the bottom of this league. They're going to move up. And those are the two things I'm certain of. Tampa will come down and the Yankees will come up. I'm not sure where it's going to settle. I think that even though I expect Tampa to go down, I still think that's a really good team. And I think I completely missed on them. So I don't see them like dropping out of the picture.
But do you think they're going to beat the Yankees in the plus minus because they're plus 100 at the moment over them?
I would say they would be able to beat them by the end of the year.
That's a pretty big deal. It's like the question goes to who you're playing and how good or bad they are. So just so everyone knows how bad some of these teams are, if you haven't played the A's, your plus minus is going to improve greatly. If you haven't played the White Sox, the Detroit Tigers, the Kansas City Royals, we have quite a few teams here that are on the plus minus train that are terrible. And also the Rockies fit in that department. Other than that, everybody else is pretty respectable, but those are the ones that are already minus 40 plus.
What's the spread for Oakland? That's got to be a shame.
Well, that's like negative 117.
Wow.
Isn't it? Isn't that what it is right now?
Right now it's negative 117 for the A's, which is really, and they hit, which means their pitching is tremendously off.
How about the Rockies?
Rockies are in the 60s. They are they're minus 54. The Kansas City Royals are minus 64. The White Sox are minus 65.
But the White Sox just went through Tampa, right? So did Tampa, I think, like won 7 out of 8 or something against them just recently?
When you play Tampa, because they're plus 100, your plus minus turns very, very sour quickly. So there has to be a give. I mean, to Dad's point when we watch baseball, you hit good sometimes, you pitch bad sometimes. Right now, the Rays are doing it both. So if it both goes bad, they stop hitting and stop pitching, you're going to see that really change course to Todd's defense of the Yankees, where the Yankees haven't had that I'm ready to go yet. So anyways, the AL East is fantastic. It's good to watch. I'm happy for Boston fans, but let's not kid ourselves. The Red Sox crater is coming. It's going to be fantastic.
But look at the Twins in the Central. They're the only team with a positive run differential. Only team with a positive run. And who did they play? Who did they play this last month? They played the Astros. They played the Yankees. Played the Yankees twice. They also played the Royals twice. They played the Marlins. They played the White Sox. They played the Red Sox. So, but the Twins are in first place.
So,
and get this, the Brewers are not far behind.
Brewers in.
For as good as the Twins have played, the Brewers are right there.
Why you mean Cleveland? Because the Brewers are in the NL Central.
I'm getting it mixed up. Brewers are right behind Pittsburgh, as good as Pittsburgh has played.
Okay, you switched to Pittsburgh. Yes, right. The Brew Crew and the Pittsburgh Pirates both started off very hot.
I had in my head a snapshot of the Brewers in second place to a team.
Gotcha.
The team itself was vague. So as soon as I went to the Central, do you see where I'm going with this?
You could throw the Central altogether because nobody in baseball cares about either Centrals. The Central is literally like nobody's covering them. They have problems with finances. We'll get into that in another episode. They have all sorts of issues on the Central teams. The biggest surprise to me so far is the NL West. The AL East is surprising me because they're good. The NL West with the Dodgers and the Padres and the Giants and the Diamondbacks and the Rockies, which we all knew the Rockies were going to be terrible. That division has 2 teams in the plus category. The Diamondbacks are plus 5. The Dodgers are plus 17. Everybody else is in the minus. Padres are 1 game over 500 and only a game out of the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. This division started really, really slow. It hasn't quite ramped up, but we can call one thing for certain. The Rockies are terrible.
Bad. Really bad.
Very bad. Very bad, no good team.
But who are these teams playing that they're all getting beat up so much?
They playing each other, and they just haven't had the run. The Dodgers aren't the same. The Padres batting average as a team, I think it's pretty bad. But they're just bad. There's not good baseball being played there.
No.
There's two teams' records are so bad, and I don't think they're bad teams. I'm just mystified on the White Sox and the Cardinals. I just never thought they were both this bad. I mean, is this going to flip around, or are they just going to start firing managers? What's going on?
I gotta believe the Cardinals are going to turn it around. That team's got too much talent not to turn it around. I mean, the Cardinals are like the National League version of the Yankees right now.
The problem with the Cardinals that I see right now, and I continue to see, is that they, as a team, their hitting is in the top. I mean, they're the top 5, top 10 teams of hitting, batting average wise. So it's not like their batting's terrible. Their pitching's in the bottom half, but something's just not right, to your point.
But they have a horrible record. They're not just playing bad. They have a horrible record.
I'm not letting Dad get off of the NL West. The NL West has shown no life, and you just tried to skip over it and change topics to like, hey, the Cardinals are bad. Oh, look, my neighbor hasn't cut their yard either. No. Going back to the NL West, which is a division both of us are excited about, you always have nightmares about the Dodgers. The Padres spent a ton of money. The Giants. Something is missing in the division.
Well, I don't think the Dodgers are fully healthy. I think that maybe I'm wrong, but their pitching has not been what they expected outside of Kershaw.
But who is their pitching outside of Kershaw?
Well, they're
like going into this season, who did you have in the Dodgers that you're like, this pitching's great?
Urias had an amazing year last year, and he's not doing well, for sure. They got injuries.
I was told by minor league folks that the Dodgers had the deepest minor league system. And they have let players walk away from that team, signing big deals. And you're sitting there. And again, as a team that wants to win the division, it's not like anyone ran away with it. It's not like the Rays have run away with the NL West. There's not any team down there that's like really showing me. The Diamondbacks are surprisingly fun. I knew they were going to be a fun team. I was hoping second place. Dodgers finished third. I think the Padres have started terrible. Very, very flat. The Padres batting average is 6th. The Yankees are 5th. The Dodgers are 4th to the bottom. To the bottom.
Do you think Tatis changes things?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, their number 2 batting average on the Padres right now is Machado at 236. It's abysmal. What's going on over there?
Where is the kicker for the teams that are shocking batting average wise? Seattle Mariners are last at baseball. The Seattle Mariners last at baseball in batting average. Then that's
going to change.
The Dodgers are 4th. The Yankees are 5th, and the Padres are 6th. And you look at the
bottom
from the bottom, and you look at how much money was spent on those payrolls. It's an insane amount. So you're talking. I mean, and then right above them is Oakland. And right above them is the Cleveland Guardians. So you have the Cleveland Guardians, which are a playoff-like team. The Padres, the Yankees, Dodgers, and Mariners are all going to be fighting out of the playoffs. So fasten your seatbelts, because when Seattle gets hot, because they're not going to bat 219. They're not as a team. Come on.
No, that's
not going to stay. And then if you look at pitching, I mean, we have to start with the A's. So the A's, happy SwingBadder. We should have some nice A's colors on these things. Their ERA as a team, okay, so you're everyone sitting down, a 7.72 ERA.
Ooh.
As a team.
That's brutal.
The White Sox are next with a 5.96, which is brutal in its own right, but they're almost an 8 as a team ERA. An 8. That is a run an inning.
What's their whip?
Oh, their whip. Let's see what the whip is. Their whip is a 1.78.
Ugh.
So
that'll solve your hitting problems.
The pitching is not surprising. So let's see how is Tampa doing it. Tampa has the best pitching with a 3.1 ERA. Houston is second. The Braves are third in batting. The Rays are first. So the Rays are first in batting. They are first in pitching. As we all say about baseball with a law of averages, when you are first of both of those, when you start dwindling down, those losses are going to pick back up. So Todd, to your point, I don't see the Rays first in both of those at the end of the season.
No way. It's going to be a rough May, as Justin Timberlake says.
Yes.
It's gonna be May.
So a couple of things that are interesting to me. The Yankees on the DL is interesting to me, but the bigger things that we talked about at the beginning of the year, the over-under pitcher that we all talked about, and I took the under, always will take the under, is on the injured list. He was signed by the Rangers. We all talked about the signing. He got 5, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. That's right, folks. It's not as far as a marriage, but it is long enough to get engaged. 5-year. DeGrom is signed with Texas, and he has, I believe it's forearm or is it elbow inflammation? I don't quite know, but he only pitched 50 pitches. They were great. I mean, but this is not a good sign. This is the second time he's been pulled for a possible strain. What are we thinking this year's going to look like for DeGrom? We already have 2 times he's been pulled. Now he's on the IL.
Dan, I'm going to let you go because I have a very, very strong opinion about this one.
For the last couple of years, I've been really disappointed that DeGrom could never pitch very much because he's a generational talent as a pitcher. When he's healthy, he's ridiculously good. I mean, but as a Mets fan, watching him is so frustrating. But last year he won 5 games because he just didn't pitch. But when he pitched, he was great. And so giving him a 5-year contract was insane, absolutely insane. But there's a part of me, the softy in my heart, that says it's really sad that a guy this good just doesn't get a chance to show it. I mean, how many lifetime wins does he even come close to 100 wins yet?
That's the how many wins does he have over the course of his career? He's got 84.
Yeah.
But I mean, like that was always the frustrating thing with the Mets is they could never score a run when the guy was on the mound, you know. But you're right about him being a generational talent. I mean, he's insane. Like the guy's pitched 30 innings this year. He struck out 45 players. 45 players in 30 innings, right? So extrapolate that out. He's on pace for almost 300 strikeouts if he pitches 180 innings. Yeah. And he'll never get to 180 innings. And I don't know what that is or what that means or what the story is there. But Texas, you knew this was coming. Yeah, like, come on. Let's not sit here and pretend you're surprised by this. You're just fortunate it's 15 days that he's on the IL.
Right now.
Right.
Right. I mean, the thing that worries me is, again, it's not like he was in his 8th inning. He has not gone long on any of his starts. They're all short starts. Mm-hmm. This is the first year you signed him. Again, you can bash us for other pitchers like Verlander, things like that. But I'm going to heed warning here. He is one bad night and bad day away from being a Chris Sale. When a pitcher loses it because of an injury, we've seen that, like, you're on the hook for 5 years. So you need to treat him this year very tenderly. Mm-hmm. But you cannot, if he blows his arm out again, God forbid something happens, like, this is not good. It's just he doesn't have the track record. And sadly, we told you, 5 years is crazy. 4 years was pretty nutty. And whoever signed him was going to be frustrated. And now the Rangers get him, and they signed a couple guys they'll get frustrated with.
Yep.
The next thing that will shock you or shocks me is somebody's coming back. And they're coming back with a vengeance because they lost in the World Series. Harper is back this week, which is wild.
This blew my mind.
Wild. You're talking about possible MVP candidate. Put your bets in right now. He's power lefty hitter. I heard he may play first. I don't know what they're going to do with him. DH. I don't care.
It blew my mind.
Absolutely wild. MVP candidate. Put your bets in. Bryce Harper is great power left-hand hitter, passionate for the game, plays hard every day. great for baseball. Phillies fans, you got your man back to add to the mojo that you have with Trey Turner. Todd, Bryce Harper coming back this early. I didn't expect it. This is way early.
This terrifies me. As a Mets fan, this is terrifying. And I know the Phillies are coming into town, I think in May, to play the Mets. They're doing a tribute for Corey, the young kid for the Phillies who passed away from cancer, who was the prospect. So they're going to be doing a tribute for him at Shea. I keep saying Shea, Citi Field. I did not think we would see Bryce Harper on the Phillies until August, hopefully September, when it wouldn't matter, when we would at least have enough of a lead on them in the division where him coming back wouldn't have that big of an impact. And him getting the surgery meant that maybe he comes back for 2024. He's coming back May 2nd. Those are dramatically different times. In your whole life, when have you ever heard of somebody coming back from Tommy John surgery at the beginning of the season when they had it in the offseason? Never seen it.
And not just the offseason, he went to the World Series. So he played the whole season, which is another month of baseball, right?
Yeah,
month and a half.
Yep.
So
before he came back, in the last 10 games, the Phillies have the best record in the National League East at 7-3. This is before he comes back.
Yeah.
And
they're only a game behind the Mets.
And they're sitting at 15-14 with Bryce Harper coming back, which again, you're getting an MVP back. Now, one could argue that Lindor is an MVP candidate, and if he starts to bat like one, you get one back too. So, I mean, the Mets do have.
There are other guys on the Mets roster that are going to be MVP candidates before Lindor. I'm going to tell you that right now.
There you go. So I would say the NL East is definitely heating up. The Nationals are the Nationals. The Miami is faking it right now. They're faking it. They're 16-13 and they're a minus 35.
Wow.
But watching the Braves is so frustrating because you're watching the Braves and you're thinking to yourself, how is this team in first? Like they're literally the Greg Maddux of baseball teams. There's no reason why they should be dominating the way that they are, yet they're completely dominating. They're never, ever going away. They're always going to be competing for first, like forever. It's never going to stop.
So I think I'm sad for you when you say this because it feels like as an NL West fan, that's the Dodgers this year. They're taking a step back and I can enjoy that a little bit. The Braves will have their moments. I think this is going to be a very fun NL East to watch the whole way through. I think it'll be fun because all these teams are stacked and they're going after it. I will say this. If we wanted to change some colors, we need to get some national colors for the SwingBadder hat because the Nationals are certainly not spending money to win. They're spending money to lose, and they're doing a very good job of it. I have a fun game called Can You Believe They're 33? Let's see what happened to the 33-year-olds that I'm going to talk about. One was on our pain train, and sadly, he has already exited stage left. He plays for our beloved Diamondbacks. His name, Dad?
Madison Bumgarner.
He was the age of what?
33.
33-year-old young pitcher. The leading ERA in all of baseball, and has had a great start, is a player that we all know he's the ripe old age of 33. Do you remember the pitcher Sonny Gray?
Not notably.
From Seattle?
Sonny Gray, who was, if you recall, he's pitching. Let's start first. He's pitching for the Twins. That's where he's currently pitching. And in his career, he started with the A's. It's that Sonny Gray. And he's 33, and you would have thought he lost it because he hasn't really pitched that well after he left the A's. He was very good on the A's when he was younger. Then he went through a little bit of a lull here and there. He ends up on the Twins last season with a respectable 3.08 ERA. This year, he has started 4-0 with a .77 ERA.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And he has a whip of a 1.06. And he has pitched 35 innings, started 6 games, and sadly, he only has 4 wins. That's what's wild to me. So that's the tale of two Bay Area pitchers. The Oakland A's had Sonny Gray, and if you remember, he came up through the league, got a lot of great pub. He was like in the 2-3 ERAs. Then he goes to the Yankees. Then he gets lost on the Reds. He was on the Twins last season. He's on the Twins this season. He's probably why Todd was like, the Twins. I love the Twins.
So I thought he played for Seattle, so that couldn't have been it.
So both of these players are 33, which is why the Madison Bumgarner thing is so wild to think about and how far removed he is. And then a guy like Sonny Gray is resurrecting himself here with the Twins.
Yep. That's Ed, I want to point out, Dad, that your big signing in the offseason, Jose Abreu, is Jose Abreu the entire Houston the entire Houston area. That average that you touted at 306 is now at 237.
How's that power?
Zero home runs. And shockingly, 0 stolen bases.
He's all about the on base. He's going to be on base. How many years did they sign that wonderful old man to?
I think just a year, right?
No. He got a nice deal. You don't recall this deal? Oh, you're going to make me look up. I thought it was 3 or 4
year.
I thought it was a 3 year over $50 million.
I know he's 19.5 a year. Yeah, it's a 3 year, 19.5 a year. Whew.
Yeah, we both said, and Dad was like, oh, no, his average. He will hit 500.
By my calculations, we've only played about 30 games.
That's true.
Watch, Abreu will hit like 640 in the playoffs, and the Astros will repeat, and then Dad will be sitting there going, I'm an accountant, and I am your tax collector because the taxes are due.
Oh, geez. As a Mets fan, who has more innings, Jacob deGrom or Scherzer and Verlander combined?
Don't tell me they are less than
They are less.
DeGrom.
DeGrom's got 30.
Well, Verlander hasn't pitched at all.
Right.
Who ends the season with more? Is that what you're going to ask me?
Oh, no. Well, yeah, obviously. Yeah, but how many does Scherzer have? How many innings does Scherzer have this season?
Don't think he got to 35 yet.
He's at 19.
Oh, wow.
19 to 35.
Listen, he had this, quote, suspension, right? That happened.
True.
Come on. He's got a back muscle that's acting up.
Can we talk about how that's $90 million?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, they're getting a better bargain. Washington is paying him 15.
I don't want to get into that again. That left me. I had to go see a cardiologist after hearing that one.
Your heart was so overjoyed.
Yeah.
So here we are. We're 30 games in, as we would put it. If you're a football fan, you have 16 games. So we are 3 games in. So if your team is, I always take it by tens. So if you're like 15-15, you're like a 1.5 record, as you would say. So the Rays are currently like blasted off. They're like a 2-1, jumping way in front. But as Todd says,
3-0.
Let's see the
3-0.
3-0 would be fair. Let's see how the next 30 games does them in. But I will agree with Todd on the Rays are coming down. There is no way I'm going to look up in a month from now and have the Rays first in batting and first in average. I'm sorry, first in pitching. Like, for a team to be first in both of those is quite remarkable.
Yeah. Not happening.
But I will say a good bet would be, will the A's get their ERA already lower than a 7?
Oh my gosh.
7.72. You know how hard that is?
Oh my God. I can't. If you just started the year and you went into AAA and got 10 AAA pictures.
Why don't they get that guy from the World Baseball Classic who was a plumber who struck out some people? Just start signing those guys.
Jeez, that might end up what happened, like the Philadelphia Eagles movie about the guy they brought in just to return kicks.
I would just open up. I mean, just say, hey, if all of the homeless in Oakland should try out to pitch.
Yeah, gotta be. Jeez.
I mean, they may not pass a drug test. However, they can try pitching. See what they can do.
Wait, you're 30 games in, right?
30 games in. Yes, sir.
They're on pace for about 32 wins.
Oh yeah, it's really bad. We were talking about it in the schedule. If you look at the scheduling, if you look at the 40 games, I think you said they're not going to make it.
No, I don't think they're between 35, 40 games. They'll go on a winning streak. They'll win 2.
They're going to be the exact opposite of a good team. Ooh, we got 2 in a row. Oh, good old Oakland.
Have they won 2 in a row at this point?
God, no. That would be depressing if they can't have won a series.
No.
Yeah, that means they would have had to do 2-0.
Wow.
All right. Final thoughts, Todd. What do you got? Final thoughts on this start of baseball season, or is there anything that's making your heart full? Is it Bryce Harper making you that worried?
I'm worried about the other Pennsylvania team right now. I really want to see Pittsburgh, Tampa. Let's go. And by the way, the Brewers used to be in the American League Central.
As a fair point,
when Robin Yount played in the American League.
If they did a draw every year in the NL Central and the AL Central, would anybody notice who ended up where?
Nope.
Although you could build a really terrible division.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have the Royals and the Detroit Tigers. I mean, there's some really bad teams in those divisions that you could.
Yep.
I thought the Pirates were going to be terrible. Man, the Pirates knocked me out.
That's fun.
The Reds are better than the Cardinals, right?
Everybody. Cardinals have a horrible record. Here's what's going to happen.
The future. Here's the future. Oh, Genie.
Pittsburgh's going to come crashing faster and sooner than Tampa.
When they play the Rockies or when they play Detroit?
Doesn't matter. I did look up Oakland just when you asked that. They have not won 2 in a row. Oakland won on opening day. That makes their record even worse. They were 1-0.
Who did they beat? The Angels?
No, didn't they beat Texas or somebody on opening day? It was really a shocker. I'll find out.
Very good. We're excited. Following Oakland, we should follow we need to get an Oakland colored SwingBadder going here.
Just keep SwingBadder in the color of every team.
Yeah, but we really want to emphasize the teams that are really trying.
Can we get a SwingBadder hat that's in the shape of Tony La Russa's hair?
Ooh, with the hair coming out?
Yeah.
And then it has the beer holders?
Exactly.
And then when you're driving home, you just give them 100?
Yep.
Oakland did beat the Angels on opening day.
How many of those wins are against the Angels? That's what I want to know. Because they played the Angels a lot, and the Angels are not as good. The Angels' record should be a lot better than it is playing for the A's as much as they have.
The Angels' record should always be better than it is because they have the 2 best players in baseball. Like, can you imagine? Can you think about
it's like 2 pretty people not making a baby. Come on.
They beat the Angels twice.
2 of the 5 wins are against the Angels.
Yep.
Come on.
That's really hard. If you were to tell me Ohtani lost to the A's, I would be like floored at the moment.
If we don't tell anybody that's on this session, Washington won 3 in a row over a New York team.
No, 2. They beat him 2 out of 3, I thought.
No, 3 out of 4.
Oh, 3 out of 4? They almost took him for 4?
It's called charity work.
Every team, as Dad says, every team has its day. The A's are going to have that series against somebody, and that team is going to go in thinking, man, we're going to go plus 30 or plus 40 after this, and they're not going to pick up any steam. If you really want to watch some great baseball, the A's and the Royals will be wonderful because the Royals have been shut out more than any other team in baseball so far. I think they have been shut out 7 times so far this year.
We should look to see who has a 3-game winning streak first. Kansas City, Oakland. Who else is really bad? Washington's got a 3-game.
Rockies.
Okay. I would say
nuns.
I mean, AJ Hinch should be a manager of the year so far.
Oof.
He benched a couple players and the Tigers started winning, and I'm really depressed about it because I thought the Tigers were going to be terrible. But that has not occurred.
Yep.
Well, that is this wrap of this episode for This Week in Baseball. And This Week in Baseball is brought to you by SwingBadder, where you can swing badder than most. Thank you, Todd, for joining us.
Pleasure to be here.
Hope everybody has a wonderful evening tonight. And don't forget to place your bets on Bryce Harper, MVP, before he starts hitting.
Oh, God.
And hats off to all the injuries. Hopefully those guys get better. We don't like seeing that. Even though we had the under Grom, still not fun to see.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. I'm your host, Brendan.
Have a good
We're SwingBadder.